Are you ready?
Power.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
I'm building an alliance.
God bless the internet.
Okay, let's party.
It's showtime.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast, with your hosts Kevin Frazier, Jaden, DKM, and J. Cal.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J. Cal, and each and every Thursday I come to you with my pals who aren't missing in action right now, Jaden and DKM, to talk all things NWA. But tonight we have a special treat because, Daddy, we got a new Mid-American champion. Now, the NWA is going to tell you that this title has been vacant since 1988 when the title was unified into the CWA Championship. But I beg to differ, and I don't want to get JP in any trouble. But nevertheless, the Mid-American champion, the king of the territories, the man who's going to put the territories on the map, Mr. Jeremiah Plunkett. JP, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Hey, man. Good to be here. How are you doing?
Good. Well, except for the eye, man. I don't know. It's creeping me out. I think I'm scaring the viewers away, but I'm good. You look like $1 million. That title next to you looks great. Very historical looking, very traditional, very demure. I'm digging it. So congratulations, first and foremost. I'm very proud of you, very happy for you. As a friend of the show for a long time, we always root for you, but now you actually have a championship title that you can be proud of, that you could take all around the territories from Chicago to Tampa or wherever, all over Tennessee. What's up, man? How does it feel to be champ?
It's surreal. It really is. And I think, you guys cover the program. You know, I've been gone from NWA programming for probably over a year now. So to say I came back in with a chip on my shoulder would be a bit of an understatement. So to come back and, hey, I have to give all thanks to Joe Cazana. Joe Cazana is the one who put my name in the hat for the four-way for this NWA Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. He's the one who was, when I was sitting on the couch and my phone wasn't ringing, was keeping me busy. You know, so I owe a lot to Papa Joe.
We love Papa Joe here too, but go ahead.
But I wanted to come in and make him regret letting me sit at home, and I think I did that. Now I can't sit at home.
Well, and the great thing about it is, like, so they when they posted the poster for the event, and you know, us being laymen weren't there, you know, I saw right away. I noticed, like, hey, that's Drake from Crossfire. That's now I forgot his name.
Mario Pardua.
Well, I know Pardua from Chicago, your former tag team partner for a minute, and the cat from Exodus Pro. He was
Dante
one of the
Casanova.
Yeah, thank you, Dante. He was one of the odds-on favorite to win the Exodus Pro Midwest Championship. So I almost thought, like, hey, this doesn't look good for JP, because maybe this guy is, you know, they're going to give him this opportunity because he missed out on becoming the Midwest Championship. And then I saw you, and I'm like, it all came together. Like, hey, this is great. Like this four-way elimination match is actually featuring the stars of the territory system. And like you said, Papa Joe put you in. What did that mean to you to have that opportunity? You know, like you said, it was a good feeling, but, like, can you expand on that?
Yeah, man. So first off, Joe literally called me out of the middle of nowhere to give me this opportunity. I wasn't expecting it at all. And it was kind of I got to the point where I'll believe it when I see it type thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'd gotten there. And, but to have it finally happen, I think you saw the emotion in my face when I won it. Like, that's legit. You know, I was shocked that it came through. I was shocked that we did it. But now, here's the thing, man. So this belt makes me king of the territories.
Yes, sir.
And me and you have known each other a long time. All I've been doing is riding up and down the roads for 19 years now. So nothing really changed except my bag's a little bit heavier.
Well, and then the pay window's a little bit fatter too, right?
Yeah. Pay window's definitely a little bit fatter. Envelope's a little bit thicker, but it's all the same, man.
Yeah, and like, I mean, look, we know that title is called the Mid-American title, and it's so perfectly apt that it's like this territory belt because a lot of the territories are operating in that middle of America, Tennessee, especially with both Crossfire and Joe Cazana Promotions. But then, just up the road, you've got, NWA Chicago, you got Exodus Pro in Cleveland. I mean, those aren't short car rides, but they are very doable car rides. And you combine that with FTW down in Florida. And I know that they're not officially a licensed territory, but we're doing a lot of co-opting with the NWA. And then you've got World League Wrestling in St. Louis. And now we're hearing rumors that there might be a new territory in Texas. It's like, come on, JP. I hope you have a nice fuel-efficient vehicle because I think you're going to be doing a lot of driving, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of traveling. I don't know if they'll all be behind the wheel of a car. I might have to get a seat in the plane. But no, sure. I mean, I'll burn the miles. I'll go wherever I need to go. And you're talking about this title, and you brought up Tennessee specifically. I grew up watching guys defend this belt. I grew up watching Dutch Mantell, who I trained under for a while. I grew up watching Tracy Smothers, who was my mentor, defend this title. I grew up watching Jeff Jarrett, who's my favorite wrestler, defend this title. You know what I mean? And obviously, Jerry Lawler, Jackie Fargo, a little bit before my time. Not so much Jerry. I saw Jerry with this title as well. But, Jackie Fargo, back to Buddy Rogers. I mean, this belt has been around the waist of who's. And you know me, I love the classic design too. Don't mess with perfection.
Oh, yeah. When I first saw it, I thought, oh man, that's a miss. But the more I look at it, the more I like it. I'm just being completely transparent here. I saw it, I thought, oh man, they could have done something so much better with it. But the more I look at it, and the more like the significance of what it carries and what it means, like it's growing on me a lot. And I'm just full transparency. I was like, look, you've been around long enough to know like those Mountain State titles were always garbage. And I'm not saying that's that, but I'm saying like, obviously the NWA has an opportunity to pick and choose from the history. And like right now, the Royal Crown title represents the junior heavyweight championship. Obviously, the 10 pounds of gold, synonymous with the world's heavyweight championship for a very long time. Even the recognized national championship used to be an America's championship. So they have the opportunity to pick and choose what they want to do and how they want to recognize it. But the more that I see that Mid-American title, man, it's a real sexy design. And I know that sounds weird, but it's a sexy looking belt because it does pay so much homage to the old school.
Well, and this represents the territories and a little bit of history. Tennessee was the first territory, and Tennessee had the last territory to die.
There you go.
It started with the Welches way back in, I believe, the 20s or 30s, and it ended with USWA or Smoky Mountain. You can kind of go back and forth on which one, but I think USWA lasted a little bit longer in the late 90s.
I think you're right. And just to kind of further punctuate that, we saw that title, that lineage, end in 1988. Now, obviously, Mike Porter, main event, he called his title the Mid-American title. Mm-hmm. I know that that's not the same lineage, but, somebody that I'm pretty confident that you stepped in the ring with, Kerry Awful from the Carnies, was the last recognized Mike Porter Mid-American champion. I didn't know that, actually. Yeah, just for shits and giggles, I would love to see you and Kerry Awful for the title, just to kind of seal that lineal championship, to me at least. Yeah. just for J-Cal, if you can just get that match done, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, and talking about that era of the Mid-America Championship, the guys I did my training with, Mike Woods, Buzzed Up, Lee Condrey, all three held that very version of the Mid-America title.
So that title does have a ton of significance for you.
It does. Absolutely. 100%.
So I guess then what's next for you? Because obviously, like, look, we as fans of the NWA, you know, me especially, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat as well, you know, we're not real big fans of the taping schedule, how long it takes for things to get taped as to getting on television. I mean, you won this title back in June, but you haven't been able to showcase it until just now. If we're pulling back the curtain a little bit, you know, how hard has it been for you to be sitting on it and not being able to wear that? Because you're still wrestling. It's not like you are sitting at home. You're still out on the road. How hard has it been to keep that a secret and not being able to show off that pretty lady that you got right there?
It's been difficult. Not gonna lie, it's been difficult.
Yeah.
But we've been waiting for this day to come, and now I can hit the. And you said, "What's next?" It's just rubber meets road at this point.
So offline, you had said that you might be able to tease something, and we didn't really talk before the show started. I mean, can you tell us any updated information with this with regards to this the Mid-American Championship?
Now, this is nothing official. This is just for me, but I had made a contact last night, and I wanted to make sure that this was all good before I did it. I had an idea, but needed to clear it with a few people first. Now, the World Championship is Sweet Charlotte, right?
Yes, sir.
I think every good belt needs a name. I'm the inaugural Mid-America Champion, so I'm going to name this title. And I think apropos, I'm going to name it Miss Christine, Teeny for short, an homage to Christine Jarrett, promoter of Louisville for the Roy Welch Company, and later the Jarrett Wrestling Enterprises.
I love it, dude. I love it. That's beautiful. That's great. Of course, Jaden's joined us now. DKM's here in the chat as well. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Obviously, we've been talking to our new Mid-America champion, friend of the show, Jeremiah Plunkett. Jaden, what words of celebratory do you have for our new champion?
Congratulations, champ. I can't wait to see where you're going to defend it. I don't remember the original belt having that gold border, or maybe that's just a reflection. But I can't wait to see you defend it and who you defend it against. Everybody in the chat's a big fan of yours. Everybody in the Alliance guys, Jay's been talking about you forever and a day now and talking highly about you. I have old friends who have talked very highly about you, including one you might remember called Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot of it's almost like I've known you without ever actually talking to you or meeting you, because I've heard enough about you, and I can't wait to see you dominate and defend that championship everywhere, and maybe even defend it against a couple former NWA champions to work your way up to maybe getting a title shot for the big gold.
Hey, I'm all about that, man. Like I was telling J. Cal before you guys hopped on, at this point, I'm ready for rubber. Thanks, Boyo. I'm ready for the rubber to meet the road and just burn up a car and go everywhere and defend this title. Wherever they'll let me, I'll go.
Do we have any dates lined up yet? I mean, has there been anything formal, I should say, formal title defenses lined up? Anybody calling looking for an opportunity?
There's some people on social media absolutely throwing their names in hats. A lot of people. It's funny how many people started adding me on social media after this was announced. That was awful strange. But no, nothing formal announced. I will say I've been on the phone more in the past few days than I have been in a while. So I am filling up some dates, but nothing I can say just yet.
Yeah, understandable. DKM, you've been a very close ally of the NWA for many, many years. What do you think of the return of the Mid-American Championship, and what do you think about the new champion? Or maybe DKM's not here.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, it helps if you take the microphone off mute. Well, yes, I'm very excited. I was really hoping our good friend here, Plunkett, would win it. I still remember him back from the Saw days and other times. So I remember his TV title reign there and his NWA Southern title reign there. And I'm glad to see him back with the brand and holding a championship that, he can go to the territories and defend. obviously, I heard him a little bit earlier say, he's been going up and down the road most of his career, and now he's got a little more poundage in the bag to take with him, and that's a definite plus. And if you ever come to Texas, it might go missing, but I have nothing to do with it.
I'm gonna have to get one of those briefcases with a handcuff on it, Big Bubba style, aren't I?
That and maybe one of those Apple i tags or whatever they're called, the air tags, so that you could track it. Because I guarantee you, if TK's in the house, he's gonna be looking at that belt.
There's a chance it will go missing.
Is there anybody like we in the chat? They're kind of starting to throw out a few names like Over Metal has said Plunkett versus Bam Bam Malone. Someone earlier asked if you were willing to. Oh, Willie Bowen said. Would you wrestle Thrillbilly Silas Mason? I mean, has there been any matches, like now that you're a champion, you kind of get to throw your weight around a little bit. Is there a matchup that you're interested in having, or is there somebody that you feel like, now it's my time to help grow this territory, and this is a matchup that I think will sell tickets and get people excited?
I think it would only be fair, and I can't believe I'm saying something in the interest of fairness, like I care, to have a singles match with every one of the people in that three-way. Hunter Drake is amazing. He really is. I didn't get a chance to bust him in the mouth to see how tough he actually is.
Well,
he was do some amazing things.
He was treating you like a surfboard in the ring.
Hey, man, I got a back that's going to carry territories. I can carry the kid.
I really want you to bust him in the mouth. That would make me very, very, very happy.
And I had said on when we did the NWA pre-show podcast, the Dante Casanova is extremely talented. He might have been the most well-rounded person in there. He has a really good look. He's deceptively large.
Oh, that wasn't deceptive. He looked big.
Right, but like seeing him on the poster, I didn't realize. And then we get in the ring, and I'm like, okay, you're not a small guy. And he's real fast too. He's fast and he's smooth. And then you got Mario Pardua, which, listen, man, something about him just rubs me the wrong way. It's probably the abs, but
well, that's your former tag team partner. What happened there?
I mean, he lost. You saw the match. He got beat. I thought he was a blue chipper. That's why I grabbed him for a tag team partner. I was like, hey, look at this guy. He's built. He can wrestle. And then he loses. I was like, I was wrong.
I mean, you had a lot more success teaming with Alex Taylor than you did teaming with George Perdue. I will point that out.
100%. And you know what? I can drink beer with Alex Taylor.
Because of the abs. Because of the abs, right?
I mean, Alex has them too, but he can drink beer and still have them. So I don't know how it happens.
That's fair.
I do like Perdue's look. I mean, I do. And I thought he showed quite a bit of skill in the ring. He probably impressed me the most of the other three that were in there. And so, but he's got that kind of weightlifter's body. But our buddy here, Plunkett, he's got a wrestler's body. And there's a thing in boxing, you never want to be too muscled because it makes you too stiff. And that goes back a long ways. They didn't like them to do too many weights because they felt like it made them too stiff and too hard. And you look at somebody like Steve Austin, who when he started in the wrestling business, he was jacked. But when he became the best wrestler, he had he still had the muscle, but he had a wrestler's body. He didn't necessarily have that six-pack of abs. And,
when you're drinking 12 beers a night after each show, it's probably hard to keep them.
I would think so. But, but seriously, though, and I am trying to get to the fact that you do have a wrestler's body. You do have, what seems to be an ability to move into finesse in ways. go break a little bit of kayfabe here. I felt that you got the best out of every guy that was in that match, and all of them looked good, and I give you probably 50% of the credit for that.
Well, I appreciate that. You had said something about what was it? Having a weightlifter's body versus having a wrestler's body. What's the old Buddy Rose shirt? I worked hard for this body. That's the sad part. Is like I work out really hard to look like this.
Preach it, brother. Real quick, Poyle's been on fire in the chat, so I'm just going to throw some of these up so you get the good old fashioned rib from Poyle. Plunkett going to go up to Chicago and beat up Pardua. I think that's a foregone conclusion. I don't think that's you don't have to be a psychic to see that one coming. Poyle says Pardua has a great look. Does he have the skill to back it up? Well, obviously not, or else he would be walking around with the Mid-American Championship. This one kind of hurt my feelings, so I'm sure it's going to bother you, JP. But Plunkett has a swimmer's build. Walruses are swimmers, right?
I think I'm more of a manatee, but I'll take walrus.
And then Poyle says, switch to Diet White Claws like a gentleman, for crying out loud.
I have switched to tequila and soda water.
Wow. I can't drink tequila.
Get rid of the soda water and you're perfect.
Well, that soda water, I'm sorry, just the carbonated water. No. Yeah. Oh, you're talking shooting straight tequila? No, I can get way too mad.
Tequila makes my clothes come off, so we don't drink tequila.
Oof. We don't let you drink at all.
Poyle says, I'm just here to antagonize, and that Poyle loves manatees. So again, I do want to say this, and I mean this with the utmost respect. Like, it's about goddamn time, you're with the NWA's direction going to, look, Power is its own separate entity from what the territories are doing. But we're seeing a lot more of inclusion of the territories now. I'm hoping that we still see that Mid-American title on Power, not just on Joe Cazana's show, not just at Exodus Pro, but also on Power. I'd like to see you, in a time and space and an age where, again, Billy's kind of picking and choosing what part of the NWA he wants to represent and produce and project. You come from the bygone era of the NWA that I fell in love with. And I don't love the fact that history gets ignored. I don't love the fact that it gets forgotten about. But it feels good and it feels right to see somebody like you with your history with the brand holding that title belt. That's significant to a guy like me. And I know that Jaden DCAM feels similarly, like, yes, you were the right guy to win the title. And I hope that you have that title for as long as, until you take that next step in whatever direction that is, whether it be, going after one of the titles on Power or whatever. Because I think you are, when I think of the NWA, and this isn't to piss off anybody, but I look at Joe Cazana Promotions and I feel to me like that's the most direct representation of what the NWA should be to me. And when I see you holding that belt, knowing that you will be working with Joe Cazana Promotions, know that you represent JCP, and you have a title, to me, that's going to represent that territory time of the NWA. I'm most excited about that. I'm really happy that this is how it played out. And again, we've known about this for a while. We haven't been able to say anything about it for a while, but now that it's finally come to pass, I'm super excited about it.
I'm real happy too. I won about $300 betting everybody that Jeremiah Plunkett was going to win.
Heck yeah, I'll expect a check in the mail.
10% and finder's fee. Poyle, see, and Poyle messaged me before the show. I'm gonna just pull the curtain back a little bit, and we were talking about that Mid-American Championship, and I told Poyle that I don't like the fact that we kind of gloss over that, if you want to call it the dark ages of the NWA, but it's like if Billy came to buy the NWA, to rescue it, to bring it back to the forefront. The beautiful thing about the National Wrestling Alliance to me is that as an entity, it's existed for 76 years. And that means that, for every Luthez, we had somebody that maybe didn't have as much shine as a Luthez. We had, Ric Flair, and we had, I don't want to bury anybody, so I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody.
I was sitting here waiting for what name was going to come out of your mouth.
Mike Rapata. That's the one that always. You said you love Mike?
I've known him for 20 years.
Well, look, I don't want to.
No, I get what you're saying, though. No, absolutely, I get it.
I've always said this, right? If it wasn't for Mike Rapata, we wouldn't be talking about the NWA today. And whether you like him or don't like him, that dude carried the brand when they needed someone to carry it. Adam Pearce always comes to mind because he didn't have the backing of Billy Corgan, but was taking that belt all over the world. And that's huge. Rob Conway, the Con Man. He took the title to New Japan, wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom. We wouldn't be where we are today without those guys that paved the way. And for every Adam Pearce, there's somebody who's lesser. For every there was the Sheik. There was there was I don't want to shit on anybody. I love all the world champions
except for the Sheik.
No, you know what, Sheik? You know what? Bygones are bygones. He didn't steal my belt. I made Jeremiah Plunkett laugh. Yes.
Big Pop didn't steal your belt.
Dude,
you bring up Adam Pearce, man. Scrap Daddy was my favorite NWA champion of that whole era.
Yeah,
he came through Tennessee, and I was like, oh God, please let me be the one to wrestle him.
Yeah,
I wasn't. It was Boogie Woogie Boy Gary Valiant. I was very jealous, but nah, man. Like I was watching the 7 levels of hate as it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of experienced that at the same time, and we saw like what's going on? Why? Then they took the championship clause out of the deal, and that's another mess for another time. But
yeah.
And again, going back to that bygone era, and we talked about this the last time you were on. I mean, look, you got to wrestle Satoshi Kojima for the 10 pounds of gold, and there's not a whole lot of dudes that say they did that, and I feel like his traveling to the U.S. kind of made that reign special. Because if he would just defend it in Japan, it would have been nothing. It would have been just another title in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But the fact that he spent time there, he went to the UK, defended that title, and he had several defenses lined up when he came to the US. And the fact that you were one of the guys that got to wrestle him for that title, that's so significant. And again, being a big Jeremiah Plunkett fan, while that was happening, I was popping huge for it. And I'm glad I finally got to see it too.
Yeah, man. And I'm not a big mark for myself, so I don't have a whole bunch of stuff. The only reason I had the camera turned around this way is because if I had it the other way, it'd be my wife's Disney wall, and I figured that wouldn't look good for the champion. So I have one flyer hanging up right now, and it's me and Kojima. That's the only poster of myself I got hanging up.
Unlike you, on this side of the wall, it's nothing but pictures of myself. Totally clothed, too, gentlemen. Totally clothed. Not nude at all. Something's not right with me, JP. I'm sorry. I'm not at my best today.
It's the eye.
Yeah, it is the eye. Don't look directly into it. It might curse you. So again, rubber to road. We just have to wait and listen. When are you gonna make some announcements? When do we get to hear that?
As soon as I get the okay to start announcing stuff. I've literally been talking multiple times a day about dates and hey, can we do this? You got this date open. Obviously, I had stuff lined up that I'm having to work around and flip-flop some days and stuff like that. But just trying to get my schedule open for this. And I plan to be very busy. They said you're going to be very busy. So I'm like, sweet. I've never been afraid of work.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. If anyone goes and checks up your match history on Cage Match, and that's only what they report, you're always busy.
I worked a bunch of independents that wouldn't even know what Cage Match are. So
right. And that's one of the greatest things and worst things about the internet is like, so we see glimpses of this, but it's like I think it was NWA Bluegrass back in the old territory days, the older territory days. You would hear about all these great stars that they'd bring into the shows, but there was no video, there's no pictures, there's no results. I'd have to go to Trent Van Diet's board to see if it, who happened. And I was gonna name drop him earlier to pop you, and I forgot to do it earlier. But did he hit you up yet for an interview?
No, I don't even know if that board's still running. I think it might be in some like skeleton variation.
I went to that board to see the results from this show, and it wasn't there, and I was very disappointed.
The last time, gosh, I can't even remember the last time I looked to see if that was still a thing. But I mean, it used to be popping, and everyone would read it and get mad. I'm sure it's the same for SoCal Uncensored and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. No, and the boys who'd come on and post under names like. I mean, look, we had John Cena and Samoa Joe posting under names on the message board. That was good stuff. And I'm sure you guys had that out there too.
100%.
So, what can we plug for you? What can we put over? I know you still have some dates that maybe aren't title defenses, but what's next for you, like in the immediate future?
I've got a couple like local shows lined up. I was going to be this weekend in Arkansas doing a fanfare and show. Yeah. It's going to be me, Alex Taylor, and Deals, and that was going to be a little reunion, good time, and that got canceled at the last minute. So nothing this weekend. I'm just going to enjoy this, celebrate this, and hopefully line up a whole bunch of stuff for the coming months. But very incredible article written by our friend Paul Pratt. And also a good history on the Mid-American Championship for those not familiar over on the nationalwrestlingalliance.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, Poyo gave me some homework to do before the show, and I should have had a link up here somewhere, but I don't. The other thing I wanted to say was, and now I'm drawing a blank. Thanks, Poyo. You ruined my concentration. Oh, Cattlesburg, are you? Has that happened yet? The event in Cattlesburg?
It did. It about didn't. 30 minutes before bell time, a tornado darn near hit.
Jeez!
Lightning struck the ring truck.
Those are pyrotechnics.
I wish it was. It was terrifying. There's people in the ring truck too, trying to get out of the rain.
That one of the guys over there. I think his name's Kyle. Now I forgot his name. I'm such a bad person right now. I can't remember anybody's names. He asked me years ago about booking you for his softball or baseball league. Joshua Kyle Gilbert, that's my guy. He asked me about you years ago, and I'm like, yeah, book him. Yeah, he's not far from you. Book him. And I think he was the one that booked you this time too. No,
I believe so. Yeah. The promoter is Joe Pace for FTC Wrestling, but he said that we were specifically requested from somebody through there, and yeah, you had put me in touch with them, and yeah, no, we did it again this year. It was a lot more fun last year just because of the weather.
Yeah,
it's always fun out there, but like we did end up wrestling, but the infield of the ballpark was all wet, and dude, I had. You know that infield dirt? It's like weird, kind of rocky.
Yeah.
I had that all over me the entire way home. Oh man, it was rough. It was the best shower when I finally got home. But
yeah, right. That's like the $1 million shower. So you got some shows coming up this week. Let's plug at Plunk. It is
Plunkitis. You can thank Danny Deals for that name.
Plunkitis. That's a good one.
Deals,
by the way, the Deal Man has taken care of your boy Jay a couple of times. I have no bad words to say about Danny Deals. He's all right in my book. I want him to come onto the show one of these days. He's a good dude, and I got nothing but respect and positive things to say about Danny Deals. We want to see the teeny on Power. We want to see the teeny all over the territory system, and we want to see you holding that title, being the champion. I really do appreciate your time, brother. And tell me what I could do for you. Tell me how I could help put you over right now.
Guys, I mean, like I said, the dates are kind of being swapped around and stuff. I'm having to change up my schedule a little bit to line up some NWA dates. But I will say I like to work in a lot of local shows when I'm not being sent out somewhere. So I'm doing a lot of work with a company here in Tennessee called Tennessee All Pro Wrestling. and also doing a couple shows actually in my hometown, which never happens. I never get a short drive until this, but USWO and SAW are back and running occasionally, and I'll be working with them in October in Murfreesboro and December, unless that date changes.
How wild is it for you to see USWO running in 2024?
Extremely, and to see it not in a cracked out hotel.
Well, I mean,
that hotel's a luxury hotel now, by the way, and it blows my mind. The Stadium Inn.
Did they blow it up and rebuild it, or how?
The outside walls is all they kept. They ripped everything out and rebuilt the inside from scratch.
Whatever happened to I can't remember his name. Oh, why does this happen to me? Ask you another time. Never mind.
I got you.
That's what happens when you drink your tequila without soda water.
That's it.
I wish I could blame tequila on this. It's just being old, I guess. Plunkett, don't get old, man. Don't do it.
Brother, I am trying every day not to, and it gets harder and harder.
I said the joke the other day that you told me when we were at I think it was the 75th, but it might have even been the Crockett Cup last year, that we're sitting there. I got to hang out with you guys after the show, and we're eating our food. And I'm like, man, I've known you for such a long time. And you said, yeah, I used to read your message boards when I was in high school. And I instantly just felt like I just turned into like a skeleton right there in front of you. I did forget
I regretted that.
No, dude, it was great.
It made me feel bad.
No, I get a pop. It made me laugh, and it still makes me laugh. I'm going to be 46 in November. I'm cool with that. I'm all right with that.
Well, I've started getting I used to watch you when I was a kid from guys I'm wrestling. Oh, so man, I'm doing it too. We're all there.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, brother, and you look great. The belt looks even better, and I can't wait to see what happens next for you. Best of luck to you, JP. You're always been a good dude, and we're glad that you're finally getting some of the flowers now.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys always rooting for me, even when things didn't look so good.
Hey, man, you know what? We bet on winners here on the Alliance blog, and you proved it. Proved it.
I'm glad Jaden finally won a bet on me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I bet on winners. You'd be surprised how many people bet against you. You'd be surprised how many people don't look for spoilers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Thanks again, JP. You have
appreciate you guys. You have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Oops, sorry about that. I butchered that one. JP, I apologize, brother. I probably should have been a little bit better. I'm blaming my eye. I'm blaming the wildfires out here in California. I haven't been the same.
Tommy Rich is in California?
Yeah. You hear it here, Daddy. Poyle said, that's a compliment. It means you've been working consistently and had an impact. Yeah, and I know Poyle's talking to JP, and we have put him over for such a long time, but that dude really does deserve it. And he's not watching right now. He's not in the green room or anything, but I'm really proud of that guy. And, I've only ever met him in person once. I've seen him wrestle live several times, but he's a guy that really embodies to me what the NWA is and what the NWA should be. And so I'm so ecstatic to see him in the place that he is now. And I really hope that the territories back that belt. I hope the territories will book that title consistently, and we see more and more of Jeremiah Plunkett. Because not just because I think he's a good wrestler, not just because I consider him a friend, but I really feel like he's the kind of guy that can give back to the community. I don't mean that in giving people gifts or anything, but just spending time with a veteran who has done what these guys want to do, I think is a huge benefit to the whole territory system. We thank you for tuning into the Alliance Blog Podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you won't miss any future episodes?
We'd also like to remind you that we do a live stream every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on YouTube at The Alliance Blog. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, and Twitch. Until next time, we are The Alliance.